Welcome, Aries, to your Sagittarius full moon 2 week forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. On the 31st of May, the sun and the moon go into an exact opposition for the second full moon of the month, a blue moon. But each lunation is completely unique. On screen is this event from a purely Aries viewpoint. I'm going to unpack what you can see, and by the end of the video, you have a clearer understanding of what the next fortnight holds in terms of your energy, work, relationships, or finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. Full moons are essentially when the moon and the sun are in conflict, they're in opposition, they're in a way seeking to be the dominant player. And that's what creates a lot of intensity because they have very different energies. The moon, as you can see on the screen, is in the free-spirited Sagittarius, which shares your fire tropicity. It's very much a freedom lover. It really doesn't like being told what to do. It's also in the first 10 degrees of the sign of Sagittarius, which is sub-ruled by the sign's ruler, Jupiter, itself very free-spirited, with a love of travel, the big picture, philosophy, history, but it can also be about something that we feel strongly about on a point of principle. On the other side of the heavens is the sun in the quick-witted sign of Gemini, those short, fast exchanges, very much to do with social media. So one of the things that can happen over the next fortnight, Aries, is a big discussion. But that discussion can just blow up from almost nowhere because of the role of your ruling planet Mars. Because Mars is in your second house, very much to do with how you feel about your value, your self-worth, but also your finances. And that's in a quincunx, a tenth exact quincunx, 150-degree angle with the moon. So there may be a point of principle that is triggered by something you feel strongly about in terms of your values or a financial matter. Because the ninth house can be about travel, it can be about contract, it could be about a desire to break free and be more independent. And that's where the tension point can come. But if we widen the lens on the event, Mars is just emerging from an extremely strong right angle to Pluto, the planet of power, for the first time in 2 years. And you may have found, as May came to a close, that there were tensions with someone, and it may have been with a friend. So if you're planning to go away on a holiday or a vacation and someone changes their mind or wants to change the deal on a contract, it could have an explosive effect on you. But it's important to understand that not everything that aggravates us is worth giving the oxygen that it can require to really thrive. It's important to avoid conflict on things that are not really worthy of your energy, to just be conscious that Venus, the planet of relator, is in a peaceful part of your chart, but is in a very tense right angle with Saturn in your sign. So things could be cooler with someone you usually get on with. In fact, they may feel quite disparaging, quite judgmental, quite picky, even all the way to being very judgmental. And because of the values that the moon in Sagittarius really appreciates, that is what could be the trigger point. So I think to navigate this over the next 2 weeks, do decide what your minimum is, but I wouldn't attend every argument that you're invited to. But do know if there has been some kind of ongoing debate about who puts what money in or who does or contributes what, or it is about a disagreement over a holiday or a contract, or perhaps even a vehicle that you're considering purchasing. Try to be conscious that Mars can explode energy that is festering away into the open in a very powerful way. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas of Energy, work, relationships, and finances next. But just to say, I've reduced the price of my personal horoscope reports. It used to be two with 30% off for many years. I've now reduced it to buy one, get three because of the cost of living rises. The one you pay for is your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that play out in our lives. Remember, your natal chart is much different from thinking just purely of your sun sign or even the overlay of your ascendant. It gives you much more detail. Free, you get your 12-month transit forecast, but also your draconic soul karmic analysis, which helps us to think about astrology, ourselves, and life in a very different and profound way. Please see the link below for more. Now, if you've yet to watch your Gemini season deep dive forecast, please see that on the screen. If you've yet to watch your June deep dive forecast for Aries, please check that out. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please check out my testimonials. I work with people the world over. There's not a continent I've not worked in, and it's always an honor. Please see those testimonials below. And if you've yet to take advantage of my free daily written horoscope, fire to your device each morning for your early day celestial pit stop, please sign up for that. I do think that some people can be quite sniffy about daily horoscopes, but I feel that I'm observing the dominant planetary influence for each day. I'm not telling each sign how their day will be. I'm giving them the information of what the planets are doing, and that gives us a lot more context of how to make our days work. And to summarize, as far as your communications are concerned, if there is someone you're finding very stressful to be around, I think it can affect your energy. And with Saturn and Neptune and Chiron at this part, as we come to the end of 1 month and into a new one, Chiron is going to be moving on the 19th of June, I beg your pardon. Please look out for my special video on that. I think you need to just be cautious about what you get into. So don't spread yourself too thinly. Be aware that you need clarity around communications and that there can be some very passionate exchanges, but not all of them are worthy of an all-out falling out, which is possible with this set of planetary energies. As far as your professional situation is concerned, you do have Pluto in your 11th house, which is asking you in its link to the Sun and Uranus to be very open about who you can collaborate with. And that may be one of the themes of this event. Just be very open-minded about what people are saying, how you can look at different information in different ways. That will help you to make progress. As far as your finances are concerned, you do have Mars, your ruler in that second house, and it is going to make you right through to the 28th of the month of June, really want to improve your lot. And just a little bit of insight about that through week 3 from the 20th 21st to the 28th, that can be a significant uptick for you. And when it comes to romance, well, if you are traveling somewhere, that may be an area that needs some care. But you could also find under the auspices of this full moon that you find someone that you encounter new who's got such a bright mind and really interested in discussing lots of different things. But even so, you might not agree with everything they say, but that could make it even more intriguing. All the best, Aries. Take care and goodbye.